Will Halloway woke to the sharp chill of the October morning, the kind of cold that bit into bones and made the skin crawl. The sun barely peeked over the horizon, and the streets of Greentown lay in an uneasy stillness. The air smelled faintly of smoke from distant chimneys, but beneath it was something else, a metallic tang that made Will wrinkle his nose. Across town, his friend Jim Nightshade was already awake, lying in his bed and staring at the ceiling, thinking of dark things he didn't dare speak aloud. He had always been drawn to danger, to secrets hidden in shadows, while Will sought the comfort of warmth and light. Together, they were an odd balance, one cautious, the other daring, and both aware that the approaching night of their 11th year would bring something neither could fully understand. They had heard rumors in school, whispers from older boys, about a strange carnival that had rolled into town without announcement. Its arrival was like a whisper across the fields, a presence felt before it was seen. A fog of dread seemed to hang around it, though no one knew exactly where it had set up, and the few who claimed to have glimpsed it spoke in hurried, trembling tones. Jim, with his hunger for the unknown, pressed Will to investigate. Will, whose instincts screamed that the carnival was a trap, hesitated but could not resist the pull of curiosity. As they crept down the empty streets, shadows stretching long and strange in the morning light, the boys felt the air thicken. Leaves rustled with a sound that wasn't quite wind, and every so often, a laugh rang out, a hollow, brittle laughter that seemed to echo from the spaces between buildings. They paused at the edge of the park, where the first faint lights of the carnival flickered through the trees, like candles burning in a distant, dark church. The tents were enormous, striped in black and silver, twisting toward the sky as if grown from the earth itself rather than sewn and erected by human hands. The night fell faster than usual in Greentown, as if the sun were reluctant to linger over a place where shadows were already creeping in. Will and Jim, still shaken from their first encounter with the carnival, found themselves walking home through streets that felt different, altered by some unseen hand. Every lamppost flickered as if uncertain whether to burn or die, and the wind carried whispers they could not understand. Will kept glancing over his shoulder, but nothing moved, yet the feeling of eyes upon them never left. Jim, however, seemed energized rather than frightened. His fascination with the carnival had deepened. "Did you feel it, Will?" he asked, his voice tinged with awe. "The carousel, it wasn't just a ride. It was like, it knew us. Like it could see everything we wanted, everything we feared." Will shivered. "I felt it too, but not like you. It was wrong, Jim. Something about that place, it's alive. It's evil." They reached Will's house, but even the familiar surroundings could not calm the unease. Inside, the warmth of the hearth did little to dispel the memory of the silver and black carousel, the strange music, and the eyes that gleamed like polished stones. Will's father, Charles Halloway, noticed his son's pallor. He was a kind man, gentle, but with a mind that always sought reason. "Something troubling you, son?" he asked. Will hesitated, unsure how much to reveal. "There's a carnival," he said finally, "but it's not like any other. It knows things. It's dangerous." Charles studied him for a moment, then nodded slowly. "Some fears are real, Will. Some dangers hide behind smiles and music. You must trust your instincts. And if this carnival is what you think it is, you must be careful." That night, sleep offered no refuge. Will dreamed of the carousel again, of horses with eyes that followed him, of shadows stretching toward him, whispering promises and threats in the same breath. Jim, sleeping across town, had dreams even darker, vivid. The carnival's hold over Greentown tightened like a coiling serpent. Shadows stretched unnaturally along streets, twisting around corners and lingering where no sun could reach. Even in daylight, the fog slithered through the town, cold and whispering, carrying with it the carnival's music, a melody that seemed alive, bending minds toward fear and fascination. Will Halloway and Jim Nightshade, now guided by Charles Halloway, knew they had crossed a threshold. They were no longer merely witnesses, they were prey, observers caught in a web of cunning malevolence. Charles led the boys through alleys that felt impossibly long, the fog parting reluctantly for them. He spoke softly, the words steadying Will even as the tension mounted. The carnival feeds on time, boys. Not just the hours, but the essence of youth and the fear of age. Its power is strongest where desire and dread collide. It is clever, patient, and relentless. To resist it, you must understand it, see through its tricks without letting it touch your heart. They approached the carousel once more, the heart of the carnival's power. Horses gleamed like living metal under the lanterns, eyes glowing with an eerie light, their teeth flashing when the wind shifted. The music played the same haunting tune, now faster, more insistent, wrapping around their minds like a tightening noose. Children's laughter, warped and hollow, echoed from the spinning ride, but no children could be seen. Jim, as always, was drawn to the spectacle. He stepped closer, eyes wide with the thrill of danger. Will grabbed his arm. Jim, don't. You don't know what it's doing. But Jim's fascination was irresistible. He climbed onto a horse, and Will reluctantly followed, seeing the same terror and excitement mirrored in his friend's eyes. The ride began to move, faster than ever, the ground disappearing beneath them as the carousel spun them into a night that had no stars, no moon, only darkness and twisted reflections. Around them, shadow. The morning air in Greentown was crisp and still, but it carried the memory of the carnival's presence, a lingering hum that made even the strongest heart uneasy. Will and Jim, accompanied by Charles Halloway, prepared to face the carnival one last time. They had learned much in the past nights. The carnival's power was immense but not limitless. Its strength came from fear and desire, from the bending of time and the exploitation of human weakness. If they could resist its temptations and confront it with understanding, they might survive, and perhaps protect their town. The trio approached the carnival as dusk fell. Unlike before, it did not greet them with bright lights or music. Its tents loomed in silence, shadows pooling at their bases like spilled ink. The air smelled faintly of iron and decay, and the fog drifted thick and slow, curling around their ankles, whispering faint promises and threats. Every instinct screamed caution, but Charles's steady presence gave Will and Jim courage. Remember, Charles said quietly, fear feeds it. Desire binds you. Stand firm, see it for what it is, and it will weaken. We must face it together. They entered the largest tent, the one that held the carousel at its center. The ride stood still, horses frozen mid-leap, eyes glowing dimly as though simmering with anger. From the shadows emerged the man in the midnight suit, flanked again by his attendants. His smile was slow, deliberate, cruel, as if savoring their approach. You return, he said, voice smooth and unyielding. And with knowledge, no less. Very well. Let us see what courage and wisdom can withstand. The room shifted suddenly, the air vibrating with dark energy. Mirrors appeared along the walls, showing visions of the boy's deepest fears and desires. Will saw himself aging rapidly, alone and powerless. Jim saw endless adventure, but always at a cost, trapped in cycles of pleasure and torment. Each vision reached for them, tugging at their hearts, whispering of